It's a real honour, it really is a real honour to be asked to speak at the 90th celebration here. It's absolutely incredible. And you know, huge honour to be around here at 90 years. And when you speak, when the company asks you to speak, they put you up in a really posh hotel. And you can tell it's posh because it's a real struggle to get the really fluffy towels into your case. It's that posh. But do you know what happened? I frightened the shit out of myself this morning getting a shave. Hanging on the back of the posh bathroom door is one of these really posh white hotel robes, all like done up with the belt. And because they've got one of these posh shaving mirrors, I go to have a shave, and when the bathroom door is on a different angle to the shaving mirror, and I thought there was somebody else in the bathroom standing behind the door. I nearly died. Then, as you blokes know, you never want to cut yourself shaving, especially when you're on bloody stage in front of thousands of people, and I went and nicked myself here, and I'm thinking, I don't believe this. It was peeing out of blood this morning. I'm standing like this thinking, why today? I've shaved my way around this face for 40 years. Yes, I started shaving when I was 5. Why today? No. I've got some notes because it's really, really difficult. They've asked me to share some of my story and some of what we've learned of today in the next sort of, 20 minutes. They want me to share 20 years in 20 minutes. So I've prepared a few notes to try and keep me under an hour, and I hope that'll do. No, really, watch, I am going to do it in 20 minutes. You just watch me. I can do it. And the whole 90, oh, look at all that. I will, I promise I will. The whole 90-year thing's amazing, and it doesn't half just strike us. When I joined Clean Easy 20 years ago, they were like 70 years old, and now 90, it seems incredible. And what I would say is, it's only 10 years forward now. Where do you want to be in 10 years' time? Because the 100th anniversary is going to be a special one. Some of us old-timers up on the stage here today, just to be alive would be good. Just to be alive and here with you for the 100th anniversary. That would be a goal of ours, I guess. But I'll tell you what's really important. Where's the little clicker thing here? 90 years, it is incredible. But what makes Clean Easy special? Now, to me, 90 years makes it special. There are not many companies, and it's already been mentioned quite a few times today, there are not many companies that have been around for 90 years. So yes, that's special. Our ever-increasing and changing product range, I think that makes it special, because there are other companies out there who have nothing like we have to offer. Some of the offers that's been available today and revealed to you today, incredible. I mean, I could bloody burst, actually. You can join cheaper now with 5 times more books than when I joined 20 years ago. Is that not amazing? You can get started for 25 quid, which eventually will be 75, but with 250 books. And I tell you what else is really, really amazing. That offer, the 30-day challenge, if you start with a small catalogue after 30 days, yes, you get 250 of the mains. So you've got 250 of the main catalogues. But also, even if you start with a bigger kit, the Success Kit 1, if you have 250 of them to start with, if you do the 30-day challenge with them, you get another 250 of them. The deal is absolutely astronomical. I can't imagine where people are going to be because, like I said, when I joined, we had about, there was 50 catalogues in the kit. But nobody at the time was actually mentioning that you could buy more catalogues. So when I come to tell a little bit of my story in a minute, what we achieved in the first couple of months was done with just 50 catalogues. I cannot imagine what could be achieved out there, how much damage we can all do with 250 catalogues. So there are a lot of things that make Clean Easy special. I'll tell you one of the biggest things, actually, and there's the product range. There's the fact that there's 230 new lines in the new June book. That would make it special. But I'll tell you one thing that makes it absolutely amazingly special at the minute, and a lot of you people haven't met this chap yet, but there's a new guy, so he's not new to the company, but he's new to us, and a lot of you people might not have met him yet. There's a new guy steering the ship, if you like, now. And there's a chap whose name you might know, you might not have met him yet, but he's called Phil Maudsley. And he's hiding around in the shadows up there because he's not a chap with the limelight. But that guy steering the ship, I've never felt so much confidence in someone steering our Clean Easy ship as I do right now. So he's up there somewhere, and he's not going to come down into the limelight. But I just want to say thank you, because if it wasn't for that man, who you all don't even know yet, but his expertise and his experience, 30 years with Findel, almost 30 years with Findel and Express Gifts, is now being used to help us guys. This thing's going to explode. So with Phil steering the way and the ideas and stuff that Lisa's come up with and what have you, and the whole Clean Easy back office team, if you like, you cannot fail. You cannot fail at this thing. So there are a lot of things that make Clean Easy special. But I tell you, one of the biggest things that I feel makes Clean Easy special. It's a way for everyday, normal people, average people like me and you, to get into business for ourselves. A lot of the people out there who are struggling, who are hurting, we have an opportunity to be able to help them people to get into business for themselves. And not many people can do that. There are a lot of people out there hurting, and another thing that makes it special is it's just part-time. You can build this business in your spare time. Another thing that makes Clean Easy special is it can give you freedom. And we've heard some fantastic testimonials today from some of the people who've spoke before me about the amazing life it's given them so far. Freedom. Write these down in your notes. I hope you've taken some notes. I hope you've took a lot of good notes today. But write down, I've got a lot of one-liners, so scribble them down as I go, because I think it's important to reflect back on your notes, to learn from your notes. But some of the big words that I think that make Clean Easy special is your own business. An opportunity to run and build your own business for the price of what? Less than a pair of trainers these days. In fact, some kids, if you bought them a pair of trainers for 25 or 35 or 50 quid, they'd throw them back at you. A pair of bloody trainers is 110 quid these days, right? So that's what makes Clean Easy special, the freedom it can give you. We've watched a young couple in our team with young children, Dave and Tracy Sheehan. Dave and Tracy Sheehan, Dave's just given up his job. Tracy was able to bring up her two little girls because she didn't have to go and have a job. And that, to see their freedom at such a young age is amazing. Dave just gave his job up just a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing. And do you know what, this period, they've just missed SED by a few £100. Our period just ended there on Thursday. They've just missed SED by a few £100. They will be our 14th SED. This business just absolutely works for those that work at it. And some of the people, another fantastic story, and a lot of you guys have met Abby, but if you just, young Abby Allgood, you saw her on stage earlier get a £1,500 cheque. She's 19 years old, a 19-year-old gold distributor. How phenomenal is that? We were all out there in Miami, and just to see Abby enjoying the whole thing in what she calls like a Princess Cinderella type dress and just living it up. She's 19 years old, but she's a gold distributor. Write this down. 19 years, gold distributor, £1,700 a month cheque. Building a business part-time around her studies. Phenomenal success. What kind of a future is young Abby going to have? How many more people actually well, in fact, no, stand up. We'll do it quick. Stand up if you're under 30. Don't lie. I'm not going to ask you anything, just stand up. Stand up if you're under 30. Right, guys, honestly, your future is amazing. If you just stick in and apply yourselves, your future is amazing. Thank you very much, thank you. I mean, even for you people who are older than 30, you've still got an amazing future too. I'm not going to write you off. But what I'm saying is, for young people, realise what you've got hold of. Realise what you've got hold of, because Abby, at 19-year-old, she's a switched-on young girl, and because of her parents and just she's a bright lass, she knows already. I wish I'd come across this when I was 19. My God. I bumped into a lad in the car park the other day. He come and asked me what my car sticker was about in the back of my car, and he says, "Oh, Clean Easy." He says, "Oh, in a way, I'm pleased it is, really." He says, "But I tried it 12 years ago when I was 18. He says, "I just didn't stick with it." But he says, "I'm 30 now, married." He says, "Up to here with just like never had enough money at the end of the month." He says, "I'm on £1,400 a month and I'm still broke. My wife works as well in Boots the chemist." He says, "I'm just picking up from work." He says, "And we're still broke. 2 wages coming in and I'm broke." So he's joining literally Sunday, tomorrow. See, this business, for some people, he was 18 and he didn't recognise what he had hold of. Young Abby recognises what she's got hold of. And Jackie and Peter White, here again in Miami, there's the very elegant Jackie White, the lovely Jackie White. And the party animal that is Peter White. Never ever seen on a conference without a drink in his hand. Pete and Jackie White, phenomenal people. I love them to bits. Do you know what's really special about Pete and Jackie White? Well, in fact, there's a lot of things special about Pete and Jackie White. But do you know what? Jackie White's exactly the same age as my mum. She's 70. And that lady that you just saw on this stage does not seem like a 70-year-old lady, does she? She's got so much energy, so much fire, so much passion, so much ambition of her life. It's amazing. And yet my mum, and I love my mum to bits, you'd think my mum was Jackie's mum. If you know what I mean. Different entire outlook on life, so much slower, just got no money. My mum retired, working as a care assistant, retired with hardly any money, ridiculously low pension and all kinds of, their lives are so different yet they're the same age. Pete and Jackie White, phenomenal people. People Lots of people out there are going to be like Pete and Jackie, a couple that came across this business in their 50s, who'd both been made redundant and needed something else. Have we got something for them? Absolutely. There are going to be a lot more people like Pete and Jackie White in their 50s who are looking for another opportunity. And then our very own, you saw him earlier on, John Hawkes. We were buzzing at the January conference to see John and Jeanette recognised as Distributors of the Year. Absolutely bloody buzzing. And every time he speaks, I'm in tears. And when I saw Vera Nicholson come up on the stage today, I was just I get so emotional. I'm a right bloody girl. Because I wasn't even born. I was born in 1964. Jim and Vera joined before I was even born. And some people wonder if this business works. They've been in the business more than my life. And then John Hawkes, the guy's nearly 80 years old. He's celebrating his 80th birthday coming up. That's amazing. You don't often see many people with fire and passion and excitement and can stand on a bloody stage at 80 years old. It doesn't happen in the real world. This world of clean easy that we live in is absolutely phenomenal. I think John Hawkes is amazing. John and Jeanette, they turn up at everything. Yet again, you never see the chap without a glass of red wine in his hand. We all had a meeting last night, yesterday, then a meal last night, and guess it was first over at the venue, and when we got there, he was greeting us with his glass of red wine. I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm still supping red wine and wandering around when I'm 80. I don't know. I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. But you know what I've learned in all the years I've been doing this thing? Clean Easy works for those that work it. It's as simple as that. Clean Easy works for those that work it. And the more people that you help make money, the more successful you will become. Simple things, one-liners, scribble them down because I'm going to go really quick. I've only got 4 minutes left, I think. The fastest way and the most cost-effective way to build your business is to contact your warm market. You just heard Jackie, and I didn't know what Jackie's talk was going to be about. What Jackie just mentioned about Jean and Mike Day and our own son Craig represents millions of pounds turnover. Them just two legs of their business represents millions of pounds of turnover. It was their warm market. It's a huge, huge part of your business. So don't prejudge people. Whatever you do, don't prejudge people. And be proud of what you've got to offer. You've got to be proud of this thing. It was mentioned earlier on by Paul Southall, the DSA guy. You know, pride. One of the P's he mentioned. I thought, God, that's in my talk. Be proud of. I've said it for years. Be proud of what you've got to offer. And the fastest way to build your business, talk to your warm market, speak to people you know. And what we did, and this is exactly what happened to me, in my beginnings, when I joined Clean Easy on a Wednesday, I'd never heard of the company. I'd never heard of them. Six weeks later, I was a gold distributor. Our turnover, you should be able to see it on the screen, £10,074. But when we just joined with 50 bucks. And everyone who were recruited into the business, part-time, because I still had a day job, joined with 50 bucks. So even with just 50 bucks each, we did £10,074 the first month. The second month was 11,225. And our third full month in the business, we became bronze executives on £20,000 turnover, over 20 grand turnover. Now, okay, we hovered on bronze executive for a bit. It was a bit frustrating not moving on from bronze straight away, but there was a lot of company issues back then. You had to order off your upline and wait a week for your delivery, and everyone gets their own account these days. We didn't have that back in the olden days when everything was black and white. We didn't have none of that. It was a nightmare. So I struggled and fluttered around on bronze for a while, but then things started moving again. And here's some of the jumps you can expect, because these were jumps we had way back. One month we did 24,995. Here's within 3 months what happened. 24,995. I was so annoyed that we just missed 25,000 turnover. I was like, oh God, just missed it. Do you know what? The very next month though, we did 37. The reason I'm showing you these figures is, imagine what you could do with some of the offers that's been revealed today. People joining with 250 bucks. A box of catalogues now being 20 quid instead of 32. How amazing is that? How many more catalogues will get ordered into your business by existing distributors anyway? But that 37 the very next month went to 67. The month after that it was 76. So 3 months earlier I'd been frustrated that we missed £25,000 turnover in a period, and yet 3 months on from there we trebled that. We trebled it. And what I'm saying is the same sort of things are going to happen for you guys now. The future's bright, believe me, it's bloody bright. You've no idea what's ahead. I think for the people who get excited, they'll achieve all kinds. For the other people, they might just watch it happen, as John mentioned. They'll just watch it happen and wonder, oh, why didn't it happen for us? Because they probably didn't get off the backside. There's nothing to do what needed to be done. It's as simple as that. Some more exciting jumps that we had. So for you guys who've got a business that turns over maybe 100 grand, 120 grand, the Jeff and Fiona Webbs and people like that, this is what lies ahead for people with a turnover round about there, perhaps. 1 month we were doing about 115,000. The next month it was 140. The next month it was 160. Our business had jumped that much again. We was absolutely buzzing. Here's some more exciting jumps. For again, you people who've got a turnover of maybe about $250,000 a month. 1 month, we were doing 260,000. Buzzing, excited, just doing the business, really enjoying it. £250,000 a month, dead excited, hitting that sort of £250,000 a month threshold. The very next month, it jumped to £370,000, our little team turnover. Unbelievable, we couldn't believe it. The very next month after that, 450. And then this one, 8 years into the business, our 8th year, I joined absolutely bloody broke and penniless with county court judgments up to here, right? 8 years into the business, watch these jumps. 1 month we were doing 570,000. The next month it was 750,000. The month after that it was 870,000. This was without these deals we've got today. This was without people joining with 250 books. We used to just get people joining with 50 books and try and encourage them to buy a few more packs of books. Try and encourage people to try and join with about 200 if they could. 50 that came in their kit and order another 3 boxes of books. We tried to encourage that. Imagine what's going to happen when people start doing this 250 book kit as the norm. 870. The very next month, 1,020,000. 1,020,000. We were absolutely bloody blown away. From a few months earlier of just doing over 500,000, we was now doing £1 million a month. And do you know what? That was 8 years into the business. That was years ago. Before the internet, before Facebook, before all of these clever high-tech gadgety things. Because do you know what? Some of these things have complicated the business. For the people who can't get a head around them or work them properly, they're not doing as much because they think they can't do it. So, as Jackie said, you know, the rods in the pond, the cards, the flyers, adverts, just doing stuff like that, leaflets. That's what got us to there. That's what got us to £1 million a month, long before all the internet stuff come out. Yes, it's clever, and yes, it's an add-on, but don't concentrate on just that, because we know this bit definitely works, because we proved it by the figures, and this internet stuff can be a huge, huge add-on. But just remember, don't overcomplicate it for people, because they'll struggle with it, some people. And the other main thing is, work together and give it time. You've got to work together and give it time. And don't let anyone tell you that Clean Easy doesn't work. It's just crazy. It's been going now for 90 years, and you know what? We'll all be on this stage and celebrating the 100th anniversary in 10 years' time. It's just a simple, simple system. As long as you take responsibility for about £1,000 a period yourself, just try and do at least £1,000 a period yourself to set a good example. Get to a level where you've got about 50 information packs a week going out, but do the calls, do the bloody calls. Write this down in your notes. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Okay? You need to sponsor about 15 to 20 people at your level or above. And out of that, you'll have maybe about 5 or 6 people who are ready to get going with this thing and ready to get stuck in, who want to work, who want to come to meetings, who want to do the do. And then you can just wait. The other might hang around in the sidelines. They might come involved, they might not, but at least you have a few people to get going with. And that's all you need to do. You need to sponsor about 10 active wide. From cards, from flyers, from your warm market. Something that I was thinking about, which I put down on the Easy Reach system just a couple of days ago. Do you know what? We've helped 9 people up to the gold distributor level. 9. Front level. 9 people up to the gold distributor level. 5 of which have gone on to build phenomenal businesses. They've attended the seminars, the meetings, they've grown as people, they've developed, become SEDs, whatever. 5 of our legs are massive. But here's the 9 people, right? 9 people. 1 was a friend of mine. Second one was my brother. Third one was a delivery driver. The fourth one was a 3-foot rule, which was a girl in a bar. I gave her some information because we were having a meeting and we'd come out and she asked what it was all about. I gave her some information. It wasn't for her, but she passed it on to her sister, and her sister and her husband joined. So that was 3-foot rule. The other one, number 5, was an advertising thing. A woman actually approached me to try and sell me insurance. And I finished up pitching her, and her husband joined Clean Easy. So for all it was an advert, she was trying to flog me something. Then number 6, our sixth leg that we helped up to the gold level was our cleaner. And then we introduced one of the lasses who worked for her, who was also a cleaner. And then our 7th was an AA breakdown man. I'd left the lights on my Rolls Royce, put it in the garage. A couple of days later, went to use it again. Battery was flat. I phoned the AA, finished up sponsoring him by giving him an information pack. Our 8th one was another AA man. I bought this big Jeep thing with spotlights on the roof, and I'd accidentally left the spotlights on because they were on a switch of their own. So here's a little tip for you. Just leave your lights on all the time and phone the AA. Gold distributor leg number 7 and number 8 were both AA breakdown men. And then our 9th gold distributor leg was a customer. Just delivering goods about a year and a half ago or something, on a Friday night, delivering goods to a customer, and our customer joined. Give them some information, and then they finish up joining. And again, in qualification for Dubai now. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, so one of the main things is, and write this down in your notes, because this is a real thing to measure your business by. Your turnover will be in direct proportion to the amount of people you've got turned up at meetings. Simple as. Your turnover will be in direct proportion to the amount of people you've got turning up at meetings. And another one-liner that I heard years ago from a really very famous and big networking guy was, make a difference in one person's life every day. Just make that there's a simple goal. This business is all about goals. Setting little weekly goals, daily goals, long-term goals, short-term goals. It's all about setting yourself little goals. And this is a dead simple one that everyone could have in their head every day. Just make a difference in one person's life every day, and your life will change forever. Okay? Here's another thing, one-liner, which I think is amazing. Give this thing the respect it deserves. Isn't that obvious? It pays well. It pays so well. I keep saying to people, just get smart at it. Read the books, find out what you can, because we totally accept that in the real world, it'll take 4 or 5 years to do an apprenticeship. To earn what? 20 grand a year, 24, grand a month, 1,500 a month, 2 grand a month in the real world. And yet in this, if you study a few books, come to a few meetings, you can go on to earn a fortune. There are quite a few books to get hold of. These are just, let me say to you, anything by Jim Rohn. If you haven't come across Jim Rohn yet, read anything by Jim Rohn. The books that you can see on the screen here, I haven't got time to go through any of them in detail today, but the Basics book by Don Failer, The Fundamentals by Ed Ludbrook, Fire Up by Jan Rue, MLM Nuts and Bolts by Jan Rue, phenomenal basic stuff. Skill with People, The Big Picture by Ed Ludbrook, Rhinoceros Success, a phenomenal book, and Personality Plus. If you read just 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them books, your life will change forever. I can guarantee it. And if your life changes forever, your income will change forever. And every now and again, there's an amazing book comes along. Some stuff you read is a load of twaddle. Some stuff's okay, you might get 1 or 2 points from. And some stuff you just cannot put down. Well, I've just read a book recently called Beach Money. It's a phenomenal book. On the very front cover of the book, it says, creating your dream life through network marketing. Okay? Every bloody page is amazing. I'll tell you a couple of page numbers to whet your appetite when you can try and get a quick look at it. Read page 36 and 37, straight through, 36 and 37. Then you'll want to read the rest of the book. Read pages 122 and 123. You'll want the book. And I'm not flogging books. Get it from Amazon, get it from Knowledge is King, get it from anywhere you like. But get the book. If you have to borrow it from your upline, if money's a bit tight, borrow the book from your upline. It's a fantastic book called Beach Money. Okay? Now, one of the things he mentions in Beach Money, we're all familiar with the 45-year plan, where you start work at about 18, 19, 20. You work, maybe you start on 10 grand a year, you work your way up, you might be on about 20 grand a year, 30 grand a year. But by the time, if you're lucky enough to hold down a job until you're 65, you retire at 65 on a fraction of what you've been on, if you're lucky. But all the way through that 30-year career, you've had ups and downs and probably got made redundant 2 or 3 times or whatever. And he calls this little thing this yardstick solution. And I've got it as a slide here, but I went to B&Q, and I recommend you do the same. Other hardware shops are available, but I made myself one because I thought visually it was such a good thing. What he's saying is if you take a yardstick, which is obviously 3 feet, right, 36 inches, and you said if an inch represents 2 years of your life, by about the 9-10 inch section, you'd be about sort of 18-year-old. So you're about 18 here, 18, 19, 20. You start your working life. So I've put a bit of electrician's tape on here, yellow. Yellow is the start of your working life. And at 65, 32.5 inches, that's the end of your working life. Now, most people go through all kinds of ups and downs in that working life and still retire, usually potless and broke, on a meagre pension. And yet, if you dedicate yourself to network marketing, and dedicate yourself to something like this magical thing called Clean Easy, for 2 to 4 years, that's all he's saying, 2 to 4 inches on this little scale, well, we've always said, just work this business for 2 to 5 years and you can change your life. Right. In 2 to 5 years, you could achieve more by dedicating this to your business, yourself to this business, than you can in the whole of your working life in the real world. To me, it's just logical. So, go to B&Q, or any other hardware shop you like, buy it. It was £5. It's a steel ruler, £5 from B&Q with a bit of electrician's tape on. Hey, it works for me. Leave it lying around your house, use it at meetings, use it to illustrate the illustration in the book. But get the book and you can see it. We've just reproduced it up there on the slide. But another thing he says in his book, some mega points to consider. I've gone over my 20 minutes. We're only by 4 seconds, so we're okay. I'll pull it off in 21, just watch. He says, some of the things in the book, points to consider. You must have a plan and stick to it for 18 to 24 months. Isn't that something we try and teach people and we have all these years? You can build a serious income on a part-time schedule. He calls it like a lunchtime schedule. You can build a serious income, and most of us do. I'd built up to the bronze executive level part-time. I still had a day job. And he says, usually your big income growth will come from just 1 or 2 good contacts. Isn't that the case? Jackie's just mentioned their biggest pieces of their business, 2 legs of the biggest pieces of their business are their son Craig and their friend Mike and Jean. If you take Lynn McDonald's business, one good contact, Gavin Scott, is the bulk of her business. If you take Gavin's business, 2 good contacts, Alan Moffat in one leg, Bob Webb in the other. 2 good contacts. So you're not looking for an army of people. 2 good contacts. Jill Nicholson, Chris Mason-Paul, Glyn Hobden, Chris Mason-Paul. 1 or 2 good contacts can go on to build you a monster business, and he makes that in point 3 there. Usually the biggest part of your income growth will be just down to 1 or 2 people. You're not looking for an army of people, 1 or 2 good people, okay? But to find the 1 or 2, you might have to sponsor and teach and bring to the meetings 20 or 30. Are you prepared to do that? Well, we were. We were, because it's a fantastic business to offer people. And then it goes on also to say 60%, 60 to 90% of most people you show the business to might not be interested. That's okay. Get used to it. As long as you know the numbers, not everyone's going to be interested in what you're offering them. And another thing he says on point 6 is technology will not replace the fundamentals of building a successful business. So true. Yes, it's an add-on. Yes, it's great. Yes, there's people doing all kinds of good things with it. But still, it'll not replace all of the things that we build the business with. And then, regardless of how financially tough your circumstances might have been, anyone can turn their lives around in just a few years. Okay? So, quickly moving on in my last 10 seconds. 3 simple little points he makes here. Because he says, keep it simple, keep it simple. Get a few distributors, get a few customers, and teach those to do the same. Simple. Page 51, I'm going to read it out to you right from the very book, because I think it's amazing. He says, remember, duplication and leverage are keys to a huge income and lifestyle. Anything hard to figure out or implement will slow down or stop your duplication. Keep it simple, it's critical. I like to liken it as the 8-year-old test. If an 8-year-old can't do it or explain it, don't do it. He said, well, we've been saying this for bloody years. Just keep it simple, keep it simple. It's not this complicated. And I read that and I thought, you know what, that's exactly right. If an 8-year-old can't understand it or explain it, don't do it. Keep it simple, okay? Now, when I joined this business, I was in debt up to here. Life was a mess. I was in a real struggle. I needed to make at least another £500 a month just to get by. And these are some of the letters and stuff that I was getting. When I first joined the business, county court judgments and stuff like that, absolute mess. They were just coming in thick and fast. I finished up with 7 county court judgments to my name, bailiffs coming to the door. It was just a nightmare. So I needed to build a clean, easy business. But how the letters began to change. I then got a letter from Lloyd's Bank saying, dear Mr. Forster, it's great to hear how successful your business is over the last 8 years. I'm thinking, yeah, this is the same bastard bank manager who wouldn't clear a cheque for me. I can remember, oh, well, is there any chance you can just clear a cheque for me? My money will be in on Thursday as normal. Well, you should have thought that, Mr. Forster, before you issued the cheque. I'm sorry, it'll bounce, and you'll be charged charges. Thinking, yeah, thank you. And then you get like lovely letters saying, we're coming out to see you, Rob. Happy, happy, happy. Anyway, another fantastic letter. Dear Mr. Forster, it was a pleasure to see that you've recently bought a Rolls-Royce Silver Seraph. I'm thinking, you think it was a pleasure, mate, if you've been through what I've been through. So how the letters began to change, but because of this magical thing called Clean Easy, our life began to turn around completely. I finished up in the local newspaper in Sheffield for something good. It wasn't the bad section. We then moved to Sheffield, and I finished up. There was a big feature on me in the Sheffield Star newspaper back in 2002. Fantastic. And again, the goal-setting thing. When I was a kid, I've been mad on Rolls-Royce motor cars since I was a little kid, right? And that's the front cover of a Rolls-Royce book, which I had wrote to Rolls-Royce when I was a child, saying, please, Mr. Rolls-Royce, will you send me a brochure? It's here. I've had this book since I was 13. The book's dated 1977, okay? And that picture lived on my bedroom wall when I was a little kid, and it's the driver's eye view of a Rolls-Royce. Like I say, I've had that brochure since I was 13 years old. Now watch this. I think it's interesting. People talk about goal setting and it's a load of mumbo-jumbo. That's the picture of a Rolls-Royce brochure lived above my bed for upwards of 10 years. That's a picture of my Rolls-Royce going down our drive. How this business can turn your life around. Now, what I find really interesting is we've even got the trees. Look at the trees. Take your focus off the silver lady, look at the trees. It's bizarre. We even got the trees. So how our life was beginning to change. 7 years into the business. Bought this in 2000. I was so excited. 7 years into the business, and we'd gone from on the bones of our backside. There's the interior, absolutely gorgeous, cream leather interior, just lovely. Even had our initials on the steering wheel, which I thought was really cute. We finished up with our first Clean Easy house, which was lovely, and we were only there for 2 years because we finished up with a parking problem. We finished up with a Rolls Royce. I had a yellow Beetle, loved the yellow Beetles when they came out, little smart car, motorhome, and then bought a Porsche for Christmas. Surprise, surprise, there's a Porsche. And we finished up with only one garage, but all these cars. So within 2 years of moving into that house, we finished up moving house. Here's the cars outside of where we live now. We finished up with an absolutely lovely house with 5 garages, 7 bedrooms, 14 acres of land. It's a 400-year-old farmhouse. In 14 acres, the stables, I don't know, there's about 19 horses now. That's a view of some of the back garden. That's a view. I've got a really big pair of step ladders. And I went into the back field and up the steps to take that shot for you. So that's part of our back garden there. And because we lived in a farm, thought I'd better have a 4x4. Well, we'd seen these absolutely insane yellow Hummer H2 motor cars on holiday in Florida because we were big Florida fans. We've been about 35 times just since the success of Clean Easy. We absolutely bloody love the place. But these Hummers were so insane. I was like, I've got to have one of them. It's just like a giant toy. Yeah, it's a giant toy, all right, that gets 9 miles to the gallon. So don't buy one. No matter how big your check is, don't buy one. And then another goal, which again I'd had from being a young boy, 13, 14, 15-year-old, I had the little Airfix models of a Harley Davidson. Finished up with the gorgeous, gorgeous limited edition 2003. It was their 100th anniversary for Harley Davidson. I had the very limited edition Harley Davidson. There's a long story behind it, but I haven't got time to tell you. I was over the moon to be able to get one, but then I finished up with exactly the same bike, because by then we bought a house in Florida as well. I was bloody buzzing. So I've got a grey one in the sunshine, in the greyness of England, and then I've got a lovely, gorgeous, in-colour one in the sunshine of Florida. But I then went to take the Hummer in for a service over at Manchester at the Hummer dealer, a place called Bower Millers in Manchester, and to kill the afternoon while the Hummer was getting serviced, once I'd run out of cards and flyers, I went to the Lamborghini showroom. So, just as a bit of a goal-setting thing, I thought, I'll get myself a keyring, I'll get myself a mug, I'll get myself a cap. Well, that was Tuesday, that was Thursday. I literally, you know when you come home sometimes and say, you won't believe what I bought. I've got myself a new suit. Or you won't believe what I bought. I've got this lovely new lamp or whatever you bought for the house. I literally come home from servicing the Hummer. How much did the service cost? Oh, I can't remember now. £700 or whatever. Bloody hell, the Robin or something like that. Yeah. You won't believe what I bought. I says, I'll pick it up on Thursday. What do you mean, pick it up? I says, I'll show you on Thursday. Anyway, but then got another more rather practical 4x4. But on this one, I don't know whether you can see it in the audience, but the number plate. Everyone in Clean Easy calls me Rob. My mum still calls me Robert. When I worked at the shipyards, they called me Bobby Glasshands, but that's another story and it's really long. That's because I wouldn't do nothing that would damage my hands, which is difficult in the shipyards. But I finished up with the name Bobby Glasshands. But at school, everyone called me Robbie. In the northeast, in Merton, where I'm from, this little mining village, I was just known as Robbie Forster. And I had that number plate made as a make-believe one on my bedroom wall when I was a kid. And I finished up being able to get the number plate, which just literally says Robbie. So that was nice. And complete waste of money, but, you just that kind of thing ourselves to do. But what's been really special, I'm just trying to give you a glimpse of what lies ahead if you get busy with this thing. Please don't take none of it the wrong way. I'm not trying to say, look what I've got or nothing like that. I'm just trying to say, honest to God, look what's available. Just look what's available if you just work at this thing. And some of these things might not appeal to you in the slightest, but therefore, I'm sure if you've got your versions of some of these things, I can tell you can achieve it. There's no question about it. My mum was 60, and I bought my mum a very first ever brand new car. There's going to my mum's house. Opening the door, the car was in the street. Obviously, that's her walking down the pathway to see the car. And then there's me and the kids giving my mum her first ever brand new car, a little Peugeot 206 or whatever it was at the time. And then another thing I was able to do for Mother's Day the following year was to pay off our mortgage. That was another magic moment, just to go and surprise your mum. In fact, it was a really... Oh, it's a little story. It's a story. It's hard to do. I got in touch with the Building Society to try and pay off my mother's house, and they wouldn't let me. I had to try and prove who I was. I said, well, I can send you a copy of my driving license or this or that. I'm called Forster. The cheque or whatever, the transfer, it'll be from Forster. They wouldn't even tell me how much the actual figure was, so I had to send a cheque over the amount so that my mother would get a refund and it would be a surprise. And that's how I finished up paying off the mortgage. Magic, magic, magic time. Which, again, we couldn't have done without Clean Easy. There's no question about that. And then my mate, when I was on the bones of my backside, absolutely rock bottom on the bones of my backside, my best mate who I've knocked around with since I was a little kid, we met when we were about 9 or 10 year old. And he used to say, yeah, look, put that 20 quid in your pocket. I said, Stephen, I can't pay you back, man. I can't pay you back. He says, just put the 20 quid in your pocket in case you need some money. And then one time he borrowed my car. When he fetched my car back, he put new tyres on it. I said, you put new tyres on my car? There's 2 tyres on here. I can't afford to pay you back. He says, no, I can't afford to get points. I said, no, but I can't pay you for the tyres. But I can remember saying, well, I'll give you so much a week. He says, no, Mr. Daft, you haven't got a spare bloody cent out when you give me so much a week. You can't pay what you owe. He was that kind of mate. But what was lovely, a few years later, I was able to go and surprise my mate. When we were young boys, my dream car was a Rolls Royce. His dream car was he always used to say, electric blue Corvette. If I win the lottery, or if my dad wins the lottery, I want electric blue Corvette. And I was able to buy that in Manchester one Monday morning and drive it up into his workshop, warehouse where he works, and literally surprise my best mate with a car. You can't do things like that in the real world. You just can't do things like that. When he come walking out of his office, he just filled up, because he knew it wouldn't be mine. I'd pulled in there and all kinds of things where he knew I wouldn't buy that for me. He knew without even any words. He just went, what have you done? Only with some swears. And I just said, can you give us a lift back to Sheffield? Magic, magic, magic time. Because this is how we used to knock about with when we first met. So how the cars have changed. Look. And people try and tell me this thing doesn't work. Honest to God, I could shake them. Violently. But you don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't. So what a difference Clean Easy made. Not just in my life, my kids' life, my parents' life, my mate's life, everyone around us. Look how the income went though. So when you're wondering where you could be in 10 years' time, the 100th anniversary, 10 years forward, our year one, we were earning about £1,000 a month. Nothing exciting, but it was part-time, £1,000 a month. But by 5 years, if you can see the slide okay, our checks were around about £5,500 a month. Now the thing was motoring. But at the 10-year point, our monthly income from Clean Easy was £28,000 a month. Do you know what's phenomenal here? I used to be on 14 grand a year. We was now making a month twice as much as I used to earn a year. So in fact, I was making a fortnight where I used to earn a year. Do you think we like Clean Easy? It's bloody amazing, man. It's amazing. And do you know what? What kind of people can achieve results like that? Let me share this with you. I'm just about 21 minutes, I think, Martin. Sorry. When we moved to the farm, I found my school report. Watch this. It's shocking, it's shocking. I'm not proud of it, but if we can earn 300 grand a year, so can you. Listen to this. A deplorable set of results. If Robert transferred half the energy he employs in trying to avoid work to the tasks set in each subject, I'm sure success will be guaranteed. Right? Head of year, I've had many talks with Robert about his attitudes to school work, but to little effect. Headmaster, a very sad waste of real ability. Right. English. After a good and fortunately brief start, Robert's efforts have decreased to the point where they are virtually non-existent. He has been tempted away from consideration of his future by the transient glitter of the cults of today's youth. Right. Maths. This is a disgraceful result due to an attitude which has gradually declined throughout the year. Robert has thrown away any chance of showing his true ability. French. Well, in a small mining village in the northeast, there wasn't that many French people. So as a 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old lad, I didn't really see French as being a very sensible thing to do. I get it now, but here, French. This result reflects not so much a lack of ability, but as a regrettable attitude towards class discipline and a deplorable approach to the subject. Altogether, a disgraceful set of affairs. French. Biology. Robert is not without ability, but he has shown little effort or willingness to learn. Physics. There is something wrong here. PE. Well, you've only got to look at me. PE. Frequent absenteeism has stunted his progress. Honest to God, I honestly just saw school as a waste of time. But when something come along that I did have a passion for, Clean Easy, how I could apply myself, even I've shocked myself. So what I'm trying to say is, what kind of people might go on to build an amazing Clean Easy business? Someone without a decent bloody CSE or O-level to their name. My school report is atrocious. I'm sort of ashamed of it, but I'm not really. I only just found it when we moved into the farm. I was raking through some old boxes. Anyway, where will you be on the 10th anniversary? It's been an absolutely incredible lifestyle we've had because of this business. We've won 30 of the Clean Easy Overseas conferences. Too many to mention, too many to show you the photographs today. I'm already a minute or two over my time. But I just want to share with you just a few family moments, because that's what it's also about. Magic moments that you can't replace. That's my two little kids in the middle there, with John and Janice Holsall's two kids on one of our many trips to Florida. We took the kids and their friends so that they'd have a good time, that they had some friends with them as well. One year we went 3 times in a year. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then the kids have literally grown up going to Disney World in Florida. Some people have this thing as a goal once or twice a year, or in their lifetime they want to go. We've been 35 times. We're complete addicts. We loved it. Absolutely loved it. The kids got to the point where they were like, oh, again. Do you know I'd have bloody work to take you there? And then magic trips I've been able to do for the family. I did a proper surprise on my mum with 2 tickets to Australia. We went with her as well, like just to keep her company. So we surprised my mum with a trip to Australia, but we surprised my mum's brother, who'd lived out there. He moved out there in the 60s, my mum's oldest brother. He knew we were coming. I organised with my Uncle Jack that we were coming for 2 weeks, but what he didn't know was I'd brought my mum with us. Absolutely magic holiday. So that's my mum meeting my cousins and stuff like that. And again, my uncle's kids, these are his grandkids. She'd never seen these kids. Magic time. And then we took my grandmother, my nana. We took my nana to Disney World one Christmas. A magic Christmas we had. Wandering around all the Disney parks and the Disney hotels, all done up for Christmas. My nana absolutely loved it. Santa Claus, because the real Santa Claus lives in Florida. There's my nana jumping on Santa Claus's knee. Absolutely fantastic. Again, memories that you just couldn't have any other way other than with Clean Easy. Magic times. And then another goal that I'd always set myself was when the kids were old enough, I wanted to be able to help them out and buy my kids a brand new car. I didn't want my little girl, when she was 17, to be running around in an old banger of a car like I'd run around in. And on Laura's 17th birthday, we went to the Volkswagen dealership in Sheffield for a look round at cars, just as a bit of a goal-setting thing, pick up a couple of brochures, and she thought she was just going to look at some cars, until the salesman told her to press that button on the wall, and a yellow beetle come up out of the floor. It's a lovely showroom. A yellow beetle come up out of the floor with all balloons and banners, which I'd gone and tied on the day before, with a happy birthday, Laura, here's your new Beetle. She wasn't even past the test. She was just 17. Magic moment because of this business. And the number plate I had already bought when she was about 4 years old. So it had a name, Magic Time. Again, we couldn't have done that without this wonderful business, not at all. And then just a year later, she was 18. She always used to say, when I grow up, Dad, when I get grown up, I want to go to Australia and see my Uncle Jack and go to the Great Barrier Reef one day. Or Africa on a safari. So for her 18th birthday, I treated her and her boyfriend. I did like a voucher of tickets inside of our card, and one free trip to, Cairns, Great Barrier Reef, Sydney, Uncle Jack's house, whenever you want to go, you and Stuart. I couldn't have done that without Clean Easy. We couldn't have afforded to go on trips like that ourselves, never mind treat the kids to them as their 18th birthday present. So there's Laura climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge. There she is whitewater rafting in Cairns. Same trip we'd been on with Clean Easy years earlier, but Clean Easy had paid for ours. I'd never been to places like this under my own money. We didn't have the money. But Laura went there. She went to the Great Barrier Reef. That's her and her boyfriend there. And that's them two in the Great Barrier Reef in the water. Phenomenal. And then again now, just a year after that, my son's 17. So here's Scott picking up his brand new yellow, the chose, yellow Corsa. Now, you know what else I think is amazing about this business and how it can change people? £5,200 for his insurance. I know. How are normal kids doing that? Every 17, 18, 19-year-old kid out there needs Clean Easy just so they can earn 500 quid a month to pay their car insurance. All these different people in different ages, for whatever reason, are going to need what we've got to offer. Because that kid's car insurance for a 1.2 litre Corsa was more than the insurance on my Lamborghini, which is a 5 litre, 200 mile an hour stupid machine. And he's paying, he's paying. That's stupid. Well, what are you saying, Rob? We're paying 5,200 a year insurance so that he can drive around in one of these little cars. So there's him in his little Corsa. There's him on his 17th birthday with a little badge on the steering wheel. Buzzing. But I was buzzing to be able to do that for them. I couldn't have done that without Clean Easy. And it's all about setting your own personal goals. And just to finish off, talking about goal setting, here's my little boy when he was 16 years old, tipping the scales at 19 stone 10. I couldn't believe it myself. He even said himself, Dad, I didn't realize I was that big. He says, 19 stone 10. I couldn't believe it when I saw it on the scales, because our scales are digital, and you got weighed at our house. He says, that's it. So that was him, 19 stone 10, 16th birthday. There he is 1 year later on his 17th. He'd lost nearly 8 stone. 8 stone. Now, it might have been down to the fact that he'd got a new girlfriend and there might have been some bedroom gymnastics going on. But that's a remarkable change. I wish I could lose. I've tried for 40 years to try and lose a stone. But, you know, it is amazing what you can set your mind to if you set your mind to it and what you can achieve. And this business is all about that. At the end of the day, we still work and still do our business because, as far as I'm concerned, there's still work to be done. There is still work to be done. There are still people to help. But I've given you a little snapshot of our life in 20 minutes and a few seconds. And I just hope I've painted a picture, hopefully, of look what's available. Why don't you share it with your warm market? One of the things that I've said for a long, long time now, what do you think I think of the guy that showed me Clean Easy? I bloody love him to bits. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for ordinary people like us to build and develop our own business and to get started for about £25. It's amazing. You can change people's lives. I'd just like to thank Clean Easy for asking me to speak today. I'd like to thank Clean Easy for being there. I'd like to thank Alney Lane for just showing me this business. I'd like to thank you all for listening. And if you're stopping tonight, I drink Stella. See you later. Thanks for listening.